Another major milestone for SpaceX. As you can see, yesterday's SpaceX launch started out looking pretty good, but it still wasn't completely successful. The flight is now being seen as a precursor to a possible Mars mission because it got further than the last two test flights. And even though the flight did reach orbit before losing control, it still spun out of control, likely broke apart over the Indian Ocean after re-entering Earth's atmosphere. Space expert Eric Ingram joins me now to break it all down, so to speak. So, Eric, Elon Musk says the test launch was successful, even though the flight lost contact and spun out of control. Explain, to folks that don't follow space as closely as you do, that, sometimes when it spins out of control, it's not necessarily a bad sign when you talk about progress.
Yeah, exactly. And these test flights are designed to push these spacecraft and systems to the limit, and that's exactly what this one did. So, it was a mixed bag of successes and failures. One of the biggest things is the previous two flights failed about 8 minutes into the mission. So this one made it past that, which is great. They had successful stage separation. And they were successful at getting the Starship to its orbital position. And there's a lot of good things that have come out of it. In addition to those things, it was the first time they've reused the booster, which is the first stage. And they tested a new way of getting the booster back to land. Then there's the flip side of that. There's some things that didn't go as well as they had planned. They had attempted to soft land the booster on the water to test a new higher angle of landing and also higher speed landing, and then simulating an engine out scenario. They only relit two of their three landing engines, and that landing of the booster on the water was not successful. And as SpaceX described it, they had a rapid unscheduled disassembly. And then Starship on orbit experienced several issues. They were planning to deploy a few dummy satellites or fake satellites to test their systems, and they were unable to get the payload bay door open, so they were unable to do that. And then, as you mentioned, in their cruise, they did lose attitude control, so ability to change directions and steady the direction of the ship due to a propellant leak.
So yeah. Musk still says he sees humans likely landing on the planet of Mars by 2031. Is there any way that happens? How do you see that playing out?
It is possible. I think 2031 is getting a lot closer. I think there's a lot of work to do. SpaceX is not great with timelines all the time, but they usually accomplish the mission they set out to do. So it would be exciting if it happened by 2031. I think we're all kind of going to be in a wait to see sort of mentality.
All right. We're watching closely. Glad we have you, Eric. Thank you.